So I started by measuring out 100 centimeters or 3 feet and 4 inches on 2 of my boards, and then marking them out, as you can see. So once I did that, I cut all of them to make two 1 meter long pieces of wood that I was going to use for the main frame. Okay, these are two pieces, 33 centimeter pieces that I cut earlier, and I'm going to use also for the frame. Okay, so for this you're going to need some screws and a drill bit. I don't know the size. You can change the size depending on the different size of the screw that you're going to use. So you're going to drill a hole in each side of the board, as shown in the video. Okay, now you're going to take your screw and you're going to screw you're going to screw them together to make a single corner of the main frame. Okay, once you've done that, make sure that the screw's tight because you don't want that falling out. Then you're going to do the same thing with the other side. Okay, then you're going to take your other board and you're going to stick that on top and screw that into the area. Okay, so once I did that, I measured out 2 lengths of 50 centimeters, or half of the length that we measured at the beginning, to make the 2 boards that are sticking up that kind of support the swinging mechanism. Okay, so I got those cut. Now I measured across that. It was the same length, so that's 33 centimeters. So I had a third one cut out already, so I just stuck that in there. I made some holes in the top next to it so that it was easier to screw in without the wood cracking, because that's a big problem sometimes. So once I got one side done, I worked on the other side, and that was pretty easy. So now you have this main frame. Okay, so now then I measured 10 centimeters from each side, or 4 inches from each side. So you have a 13 centimeter gap in the middle where the boards are standing up. And then you're going to mark that and then drill a hole through the middle of that marked place. At this point, I kind of got confused a little bit, so I kept on switching drill bits and got confused. So then I drilled that in, and then I drilled the other one in to make a sort of 2 prongs sticking out, you could say. Okay, then I got a 5/8 inch speed bore drill bit and drilled 2 holes on each side, same level. If you watch how I did it, it's a bit weird. It's easier to do it by measuring it out and then drilling it. I didn't do that. I don't know why. So once I had that done, I had planned to put a just under 5/8 inch circular wood pipe, you could say, through that so that it could turn. So that way when you put the throwing mechanism on, the throwing mechanism can turn and move. So to do that, you had to screw a 5/8 inch hole into the bottom of the throwing mechanism, which I just took one of the extra pieces of the first boards that we used. So then, once I did that, I stuck that in, and I decided it was a good idea to probably put a top on. If you want the measurements, the measurement for the main throwing mechanism board, that was about 70 centimeters. Okay, so once I cut out the piece, I drilled through, and then I stick it on top of the throwing mechanism, you could say. Okay, so I've drilled that in, and now you're going to want to stick a second hole about 5 inches in the top, so you can put another round piece of wood through the top, and you're also going to need an elastic like this. So now you stick the main one through the bottom. I had a hard time using the elastics because the elastics have to go on the top, so I used the 5-inch speed bore tool to go and bore some holes in the top of the very top, and then I used a smaller drill bit to narrow that down. Okay, so as you can see, I put my elastics on in the certain way that it did, and that's the way you're going to want to put them on to launch it. So then you're going to want to get a cup and a tennis ball or whatever you're going to launch. You're going to want to drill the cup, a hole through the bottom of the cup, and then drill a slight indent into the piece of wood that you're going to stick it on. I recommend using thicker wood for this. I didn't, and if it falls over like mine kept doing, then you should probably put some pieces of wood like I did to stabilize it.